This podcast is not for the weak-minded or easily offended. You're listening to the Ranting with Ramos podcast. This episode, as always, contains language that may not be suitable for all listeners. Let's go. What's up, man? Welcome everyone to another episode of Ranting with Ramos. I'm your host, Jose Ramos. Just checking in. Thanks for hitting that play button. Thank you for all the new followers that I've been getting. This episode is going to be if you are very religious, or if you're Catholic, you might want to skip it. It's nothing that I'm going to say against it, but just like some report that came out maybe like last week. I was just like, fuck, should I talk about it? Fuck it, I'll talk about it. Why not? And this one is having to do with let's call it a crazy conspiracy, because it's kind of crazy, and it has to do with Mother Teresa. And the headline I came across was, child trafficker Mother Teresa was Anthony Fauci's mother. Really, instead of a mother, it's really the father, because they say it was really a dude. So, new bombshell. Intel reveals that Dr. Anthony Fauci is the son of late Mother Teresa, who was a child trafficker for Jeffrey Epstein. So here it says, welcome to the fall of the false idols. We all know the name Mother Teresa. She won a Nobel Peace Prize for her so-called humanitarian work and founded the Missionaries of Charity. When she was on her world tour, she gathered millions, rumored to be billions of dollars, from the rich because they foolishly believed that she would be able to help the poor and suffering in India. Many people would believe that India was and currently is eternally grateful to her. How wrong they are. But what did she really do with all the money? It surely wasn't used to improve the conditions of the suffering. Mother Teresa was not a living saint, and in fact was something morally corrupt, with a lot of evidence. Mother Teresa's money was mostly spent on funding pedophilia and child rape, and not on the poor. She built 100 facilities and over the world with her name and organization Missionaries of Charity on each one, where millions of children were abused, beaten, and sodomized on a daily basis. Many of these children were brainwashed and conditioned into cult-like thinking to make them act like. Thus sprang her cult of suffering. Ever wonder why the Catholic Church rushed to canonize Mother Teresa after her death? Turns out she was a child trafficker, selling babies and funneling between 50 to 100 million a year to the Vatican. Mother Teresa's connections include baby Doc Duvalier, the Haitian dictator, saving and loan criminal Charles Keaton, and Robert Maxwell. And here's the kicker. Mother Teresa opened the DC-based home for infant children with none other than Hillary Clinton. This orphanage of sorts was quietly closed in 2012. And then here it shows like a bunch of fucking pictures of Mother Teresa and Fauci. And I read other reports that were saying that Mother Teresa was really a man and dressed as a woman, and that Fauci was a son. I guess that fool had a baby with a nun or some shit. And there's pictures of that Fauci fool, with him with Mother Teresa back in the day. It's pretty crazy. It sounds fucking outlandish, but if you look at the pictures, it looks pretty fucking. They're really, really similar. They look the same. Like if you put the nun costume on Fauci, it looks like Mother Teresa. I just want to give you guys a crazy ass fucking conspiracy that I looked over. Do I believe it? No. It's just kind of crazy, kind of interesting. A lot of shit makes sense, together. But that was that for the fucking crazy conspiracy. Like I said, if you're Catholic, sorry, but I wasn't released before, but it's pretty crazy. If you haven't heard of it, look into it. I mean, you're not gonna find it on Google. You got to go to another search engine to find it. Whatever search engine you like to use that hasn't been censored yet, you might be able to find it. The next thing I wanted to talk about, I was going to save it till the end, but we can talk about it now. I've been meaning to talk about this for a couple of months now. 4 months, 5 months since I've been noticing it. And when I first started this whole podcasting thing, I talked to a couple podcasters. One of the first ones that I talked to was Mega Man, because I was listening to his. I would listen to other ones, but he's the one that I reached out to because he seemed more like personable, more like a real person you could talk to. So, he gave me some advice. Yeah, it's gonna be like this, and you got to not care about what others think, and pretty much he described all the qualities that I have already. Like you gotta have thick skin, just keep doing what you're doing, and be careful, look out. Don't trust people because they're gonna lead you the wrong way, or people are gonna secretly hate on you and shit like that. And I believe it because, like me, whenever people are going into something new, if I know some type of knowledge, I like to tell them about it, so they can fucking know what the fuck's going on and have an idea of what they're going into. So for me, it was cool, and I took the advice, but at the back of my mind, it's like, I'm already that kind of person where I don't really trust people, and I can be cool with you and be a friend. At the same time, I'm just fucking scoping it out the whole fucking time, So yeah, one time I had a discussion with him, with Mega Man, and he's like, yeah, man, like there's a lot of these fools will try to act like they're cool with you and shit, but they're not, and like I said, I believe them. And he's like, yeah, man, they'll do this and that, and I feel like I support people, but they don't support me back, And I was like, fuck, he seemed a little like upset, not frustrated, but kind of upset and shit, I was like, oh shit, well, they seem kind of cool, whatever, kept doing my thing and shit. And I guess me and Mega Man had like a little falling out and shit, whatever, and he said some shit I didn't like on a live, and but he ended up telling me that he was he was just like fucking upset because, a lot of shit that's bad, like, but the fool's not supporting, fool's kind of leaving him out of, I guess, the group and shit, and, I was like, fuck, I'm like, wow, but I'm not the main cause of that shit, I'm kicking it with those fools, but I'm not the main cause, He's like, no, it's not you, man, it's just that, it's just all fucking, it just came to a boiling point, and fuck it, I just needed to let it out. So what I did, I called him the next day. I said, hey man, if there's anything you gotta fucking say about me, just call me. You have my phone number, dude. There's no need to put that shit on the internet. So, and then that was that. But I was like, you know what, man, fuck it. You know what, dog? We can be cool, but you know what, dog? You do you, and I do me and shit. We'll stay out of each other's way and shit. Cool, whatever, that happened. We still kept following each other and shit. And I started hanging out with the other podcasting crew and shit. We're all Mexican. So I'm not going to say Latino groups because we're not Latino, we're Mexican. So it was all Mexican, Chicano podcasters and shit, right? And I go to the bike rides and shit like that. It was cool. Everyone in person, they're cool, whatever, I got nothing bad to say about Chinook. Cool as fuck person, and dude from LA, real cool too. And Alpha Robus was cool too. But little by little, you start seeing shit change. So yeah, I went like twice and shit. Then after a while, I couldn't go. Because I have duties that I have to at home with my family that don't allow me to keep going. It was fun. It was healthy and shit. And like I said, in there, everybody was cool, you know. And then I guess so I reposted some shit from that somebody posted and shit, and it had a bunch of like, you know, podcast logos and shit, you know. Oh, which is the best podcast, you know, listen to these podcasts. And, you know, I was happy shit, because I'd only been doing it for about 4 months, and I was on someone's fucking top list and shit. You know, I was on there. My it's pretty much like a phone or a tablet with a bunch of like little fucking tiles that have like different podcasters on it and shit. Now, mine was one of them, so I reposted it. And with the repost, it says, you know, it copies and pastes, you know, what it says. And it says something about beers, and I guess somebody was being like self-deprecating to themselves, and they said, "Oh, we're lucky we made the cut." They said something about beers, and I guess it was a misunderstanding with Mega Man. You know, he thought that I fucking that I put that. I was like, "Nah, dog, you look, I just copied and pasted it. It's just a misunderstanding, dog. You know." But you know, if you want to believe that, it's cool, dog. Like I said, if I got something to say, I'll say it to you. You know. So then, with that, we said, you know what, dog, fuck it. I guess he unfollowed me, I unfollowed him back. Fuck it, you know, cool, whatever. But we talked about it. All right, cool, dog. You do you, I do me, dog. Stay out of each other's way. Kept doing our thing and shit, and just kept fucking grinding and shit. Kept going. I kept growing, and then I guess somehow, you know, he had his beef with Pura Cultura. I guess Mega Man might have thought that, you know, I was like on their side and shit or whatever. And, you know, to be honest, when that shit happened, with Mega Man, when he did that live, I was upset, you know. And then he was beefing with those fools, and I contacted one of those fools, like, yeah, man, look what this fool said about me, whatever, you know. You know, because I was upset, like, fuck, you know, like, that's fucked up, you know, because I wasn't really trying to pick no sides and shit, you know. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's cool. Whatever, you know, we cut ties with him too, whatever. All right, dog, whatever, you know, whatever. Yeah, they're like, oh, I heard you're cool. Alfred met you in person and said you're cool as fuck and shit, whatever. Yeah, which I am, you know, pero tampoco no soy pendejo, you know what I mean? So we're fucking right there, cool. They didn't even say, I forgot which one of them, but it was the cool twin, the one that's cool as fuck. And fucking, he was cool, you know. He didn't talk nothing. He was professional. He didn't say nothing. He wasn't bashing Mega Man. He's like, oh yeah, dog, that's just, you know, I had a feeling, whatever, you know. He wasn't like talking shit out how you would think, you know. And so boom, that happened, whatever. And I guess, you know, he might have thought that I was with these fools and talking shit, but nah, I was like, whatever, you know. So then boom, we just kept doing our thing. Fuck it, bam, bam, man. This right here that I'm saying is like not even gossip. This is like real shit. But nobody really talks about it and shit, about what the fuck really happens with, you know, like behind the scenes and shit, and like politics of the whole podcasting. And but yeah, so we just kept doing our thing, and then I stopped going to the bike rides and just kept grinding and shit. But what I did notice is you know, what Mega Man said about, you know, I'm tired of fucking supporting fools and they don't support back. Generally, when I support someone and I repost their shit, I don't do it so they could do it back to me. If I ever give you a shout out or repost your shit, I don't feel forced that you have to fucking, you know, repost my shit, you know, like that same fucking day or whatever, you know. You've just a simple thank you is fine, you know. But amongst podcasters, I mean, when you notice that you're reposting fools podcasts that come out, or you're shouting them out, you know, you give them a shout out back because they gave you a shout out, and you're reposting their shit every once in a while, you boom, repost their shit. And you see that when the other podcasters are a part of the fucking group, they get reposted amongst each other. So like, you're supposed to be in this little like group, not really a group, because I never felt like I was a part of it anyways, you know, pero, you know, every once in a while they give me shout outs, I give them shout outs and shit. I'm going to this bike ride, we're all fucking Mexicans and shit, Chicanos and shit. And, you know, you repost them every once in a while, then you notice that they're reposting, but they're reposting each other amongst each other. Maybe like 3 or 4 fools and shit. You see that shit, you're like, damn, that's not cool, you know? You know what I mean? It's not even an ego thing or nothing like that. It's just like, hey, dog, like I always say, like, one hand washes the other, you know? And, you know, for the past month and a half, I even had these fools, cause, you know, usually you'll see them on your story views. You'll without you even fucking, looking, you see is on there. Sometimes you'll see, oh shit, the homies, they're looking at my story. Cool. You know, you look at the bottom corner, you see, okay, cool. all of a sudden you see some of these fools will probably block your stories. I mean, they'll stay friends with you, but they'll block your stories. They won't see what you're fucking, what you're posting and shit. So they would do that to me. They would like fucking all of a sudden, stop seeing my views. What I did notice is, they became friends, but they never give you no likes and shit, But me, the kind of man that I am, I'm a real motherfucker. I still give these fools likes and shit. You know what I mean? Even though I know they ain't down with me and shit, like how I'm down with them, I still give them likes and shit, But I don't want to be the kind of person where like all of a sudden I cut ties and I unfollow people and shit. But I'm gonna have to end up doing that shit. Like, coming in April, I'm just gonna fucking just unfollow motherfuckers, and it's just better for me, to just unfollow fools and shit, It's like that kind of shit. I take shit really personal, man. And I'm a really passionate fucking person. Really passionate person, man. If I'm, like I said, I always say, if I'm your friend, I'm your fucking friend. Like, fucking, for real. Like, you need me to go pick you up fucking 3 hours away, I'm down. I'll go fucking pick you up. You need me to help you move, I'll fucking help you. But I expect the same fucking thing back from you. Because that's what friends do. If you're a real fucking friend. You know what I mean? But I knew from the beginning this ain't no real friendship. It's just like, okay, this motherfucker's got a podcast. It's pretty cool, whatever, Let's hang out and shit, Or maybe it could have been like, hey, we're all mad at Mega Man. Let's be cool with this motherfucker too, and bring him to our crew so Mega Man gets fucking mad or whatever. You never know how people think. That's what it kind of felt like. But yeah, like it's like fuck. I've been thinking about it a lot. It's like, nah, like. All I was doing is pissing you off that, these fools don't support you too, and you're supporting them. It's like, fuck it. But I didn't want to be the weird one, to be the one to unfollow. But luckily, right now I was like, you know what? I haven't seen these fools post in a while. Let me see. So I looked up Pura Cultura. They unfollowed me. Cool. Hey, they were the first ones to do it. Now I'm not going to fucking feel weird. You know what I mean? At the same time, they don't give a fuck if I follow them or I unfollow them. You know what I mean? And, for me, I was like, fuck it, I checked out their podcast because, Mega Man mentioned them. And to be honest, not to be a hater, it's okay for me. It's not my cup of tea, you know what I mean? It's okay. It doesn't suck. If it sucked, they wouldn't have so many followers. But one thing I did notice in this whole podcasting thing is that followers don't equate to listeners. And they don't equate to likes. I've seen people that have fucking thousands of followers and they only have like 20 likes and shit, or 100 likes. So that really doesn't equate to anything. It just could just mean you're popular on Instagram or whatever, But, it's cool, I never had no beef with those fools at all, and more power to them. Hey, they're doing good and their numbers are growing. Fuck, I'm happy for them. That's fucking good, They never really said anything bad about me or my name and shit, but when I would hear the Latino Happy Hour, because I listen to that one's cool, I would hear little jabs and shit. I can tell they're talking about me because I'm a conspiracy theorist, and even some other fool from another podcast, he was like, oh yeah, like he gave out a shout out to Churros y Puros, which Sergio, dude from LA, cool as fuck, no fucking problems with him. That's one person that I can still feel comfortable following, and I'll be cool, whatever, he's a cool dude. And he's pretty neutral and shit, I'll shout him out. He gives me shout outs. Cool, Pero somebody, reshared his podcast, and, in that podcast, they were talking about conspiracies, and everyone has the right to talk about it if they don't believe them or they don't believe them. I'm not gonna fucking take it like they're talking about me, so cool. That's their point of view. They think some shit's bullshit. Some things they believe in, some things they don't. And one of these other podcasters and shit, this fool kisses everyone's ass. He's like, I'm not gonna say no names, whatever, but you can find out who it is. He's like, yeah, it's good to know about the actual real conspiracies, not these fake conspiracies, like actual real stuff that's happening to people. Whatever, dog. I know that shit was towards me, but it's like, whatever. That fool don't even listen to my podcast anyway, so whatever. But this vato be kissing ass like a motherfucker, man. Like when he reposts like Pura Cultura, he'll be like, oh, thanks guys for the culture. Like, dog, you're way older than these fools. What the fuck are they going to teach you about our culture? Plus, no disrespect to these vatos, but I heard this is what someone else told me, and it just clicked. And the person that told me this is like somebody really, really prevalent in our raza that actually makes a difference, that's out there helping people. A legend, a living legend. And he told me, I was talking to him and shit, you know, and all of a sudden they came up because we were talking about, oh yeah, well, these fools, they're beefing with Mega Man and shit. This is happening. And he's like, yeah, yo, you know, I told Mega Man too, like, why do you worry about people like that? You know, like they're in fucking Minnesota, dog. And plus, like, what are they gonna teach us about culture? We're from California. They're like in a different fucking place, and it's the fucking truth. You know what I mean? And that's the way I look at it too. You know, like I said, their podcast is okay. It's not my cup of tea. Latino Happy Hour, I like that shit. Those fools get down. That shit, you know, they're a good podcast, and what they bring to the table is good because it's like their perspective and shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, realistically, like, what are they gonna teach me? You know what I mean? It's like, let's say there's Chicanos and they're in China, right? What are they gonna teach me about LA cultura and LA Chicanismo? You know what I mean? That we fucking experience here in SoCal, and that's just it. They unfollow, cool, no hard feelings, whatever. It's not a big fucking deal. You know what I mean? It just made it easier for me now that you know, they unfollow, so I'll start unfollowing some other fools because it's not, for me, it's not healthy to be seeing this kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like, when the kind of person that I am, man, like, fuck, like I said, I take shit really personal. You know, I don't believe in no fucking internet beef. You know, I got there's podcasters that live fucking half an hour from me, 15 minutes from me, so I'd rather just fucking cut ties and, you know, show up at a motherfucker's doorstep or their fucking job, you know what I mean? So, or fly to another fucking state, you know what I mean? I'd just rather just keep it like this, you know? And I could have said some shit too, because I hear when they're on their podcast and they'll be taking like little jabs at me, I could tell and shit, you know, like they're saying like, oh yeah, you know, there's fools that are saying that it's just the flu, and then two fools said it together and they kind of laughed and shit, you know, like they're in little inside jokes and shit, you know what I mean? But I still kept supporting because that's the kind of motherfucker I am. I'm real as fuck, you know. You know, between friends you talk shit. We're not friends, but you know, I could take little jabs here and there and shit, you know. But you know, I'm just on another fucking level, you know what I mean? And we got different mentalities, you know. And people like me, there aren't a lot of people like me. If there was, it'd be a lot better, but there aren't, you know. Mostly, like I said, everyone wants to be a follower, and like I said, be careful what you listen to, man, because, you know, I would rather listen to motherfuckers that are going to empower me. Like I said, keep listening to all the podcasts you want, but just be careful what you take in. Even with me, the shit I say, research shit on your own. You know, it's fucking better. I challenge you. Anything you look up, don't just believe what the fuck I'm saying or somebody else is saying, but do your fucking research on it. It's going to be hard because a lot of the shit that you're going to try to find is going to be blocked. You have to know what to use, what search engines to use to really find the truth, because right now the truth is being covered. So, you know, best of luck to those fools. Pura cultura, cool. You know, I never had no beef with them. You know what I mean? And it's stupid. It's internet beef. You know what I mean? And I'm the kind of, like I said, I'm the kind of motherfucker that takes shit personal, and I don't want to get it. I don't want it to escalate to a bigger thing, you know, especially with these other fools that live here locally. I can show up in a motherfucking bam, I'm right here, dog, what's up, you know? So I'd rather just not hear their shit and they don't hear my shit, whatever, you know? I'll still listen on occasion, but at the same time, I'm going to try not to, because I don't want to, if I hear the shit talking, I'm going to get pumped up. I'm going to be like, what's up, dog? What are you saying about me, homie? What's up? I'm right here, you know? And I don't want to be like that. I'm not saying I'm this crazy motherfucker that, when I was younger, I wasn't like that. But when I got older, it's like, nah, dog, you become a man. It's about respect. You know what I mean? So, like, you don't got to like me, but you got to fucking respect me. And that's just pretty much what I've been thinking, though, you know, for these fucking past couple of months. Like, you know, but they made it easy. So, fuck it, you know? So, you know, if any homies that are podcasters that are listening, if you see I unfollow you, no, I don't have no fucking hard feelings with you guys. It's just that I just don't like seeing that shit, man. We're like fucking, you know, we're supposed to be all this fucking Chicano podcaster community and shit. And, you know, it's like, nah, dog, like, you know, and I know I just started and shit like that. You know, I just started fucking, it's like 8 months ago that I started doing this shit, but, proof's in the pudding, you know what I mean? Followers are growing, listeners are growing. So, And then, you know, me, I don't like to lie to myself. I don't like to lie to people. You know what I mean? It's probably gonna sound arrogant and shit, but nah, man, I know I got something, man, with my fucking podcast. I do. It's just gonna take time. You know what I mean? Just like I said, like, it don't matter how good my fucking podcast is if people can't hear it. You know what I mean? But once they start hearing it and they share it to people just like you, listening right now, listener, if you like it, tell everyone, man. Tell your fucking friends, tell fucking your family members, anybody who will listen. If it's good, you gotta share it, man. Just like I said, like with music, with food, I say, hey, dog, go check this fucking place out. Or where'd you get that? Oh, I got it right here, dog. Look, this is where I got it. And I tell people, you know, that's what it is, man. Like, I would rather not listen to these fools or see what the fuck they're posting, because, like, man, I'm too fucking passionate, man. That's just bottom line what it comes down to. And you know, I even try following like these other fools from Chicano Shuffle, whatever, but it's all good. They don't follow back, so I don't follow motherfuckers, especially fools like that are like, you know, we're doing the same thing, dog. We're just doing podcasts and shit. Yeah, these fools been doing it for 3 years, whatever, you know, they got their following, but come on, dog, like, you know, like me, I follow all podcasters back, even some that I don't even fucking heard of, man. Some that I got like 100 followers and shit, just because we're doing the same thing, so we support each other and shit, you know. And whatever, you know, it is what it is, dog. You know what I mean? For me, it's like I said, I'd rather just, you know, call it a day with these fools and not even see what the fuck they're doing, and not even listen to their shit no more, man. Because to be honest, man, like, yeah, that's like, fuck no, it's not healthy for me and shit at all. I mean, it doesn't fuck consume me and shit, you know, but I'd rather just have my shit be positive and going forward and shit, and not be, you know, all these motherfuckers said this and waste energy on that shit, you know, like right now, I'm not wasting energy. I'm just letting motherfuckers know, but best of luck to all of them and shit. And one thing, you know, in our fucking culture, unfortunately, is, you know, when you see a motherfucker coming up, most people are gonna hate, or they're not gonna get behind that motherfucker because he's gonna outgrow him, you know. And, you know, for me, like I said, I've only been doing it for 8 months. My shit sounds like a motherfucking production most times, you know, when I'm doing my storytelling and I got a story and I got my music and shit, and just I try to get my sound right, you know. And, you know, I'm like way fucking advanced from most of the motherfuckers that I know. And it's just me. It's not like I got 5 motherfuckers and while someone's thinking, the other motherfucker's talking, and, you know, that shit's fucking easy to do. But right now, I didn't write shit down. I'm just talking right now, and it helps to have fucking Guadalajara blood. So that's where I get that fucking talking, the gift of the gab and shit. But that's just what's been happening lately, and, you know, like I said, man, no hard feelings. I just had to fucking tell people about the politics that they don't know about, that really happens with this whole thing, man. And like, yeah, they would just say shit like that, like, oh, this, you know, there's crazy fools that are into conspiracies, and you know, they should check them before they buy a gun and shit like that. And then they'll do like little laughs and shit. Like, yeah, I know they're talking about me and shit. You know what I mean? Because I'm the realest motherfucker that's in this fucking in the Chicano shit, in the Chicano fucking podcasting fucking category, you know. Everyone else is not everyone else, but most people are gonna tell you, hey, fucking listen to the man, do this and fucking this and that, and fucking Latinx and all this bullshit. Like, for me, like, it's like, for example, this is the straight out truth, man, and common sense, man. Let's say there's 5 Mexican motherfuckers in a room, okay? 5 Mexicans, even Mexican Americans, okay? You can't fucking say us Latinos, because you guys aren't Latinos, you guys are Mexicans. There's no other, so you don't have to be inclusive. But I get it that for me, it would be better if I said, oh, Latinos and this and that, because that way it's like I'm not pushing anybody away. But realistically, my podcast, I'm a fucking Mexican American, I'm a fucking Chicano. First generation, my family came from Mexico. My audience mainly is Chicanos, Mexican Americans, my age, you know, and up, and so that's who's gonna fucking, you know, like the podcast. Even if you're not that and you like it, it's cool. But that's who it's aimed at, because it's not really aimed. It's just, that's just what happens to appeal to, because that's what the fuck I am. That's what the fuck I'm speaking, and I'm speaking truth, and that's the truth. That's what I'm gonna attract. that's just what it is, man. You know, like I'm not trying to be fucking inclusive, but like I said, if you're another race, if you're fucking another, you know, from South America, whatever you like it, cool. I got nothing against that shit. It's just that I just don't feel the need to be inclusive. Like I said, you catch, like they say, you catch more fucking flies with honey than fucking vinegar. But I'm just fucking, I'm not trying to catch anything. But if it comes, it comes. You know, like that's just what I need to talk about. Just so people know what the fuck, you know, what the fuck is, well, why this change is happening. And either way, it's not. I'm not gonna fucking miss nothing by unfollowing these people or these people fucking unfollowing me. They weren't down with me fucking to begin with, so I'm not gonna fucking miss anything. You know what I mean? Like it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, you know. And you know, when you know, in the Facebook days, I don't really use that shit. I just have it. But when I was more into Facebook, I would do some shit called fucking spring cleaning, and I would just fucking unfollow motherfuckers and shit. And I'd be like, hey, congratulations. If you can see this, you made the cut, you know? And, you know, like if I'm some fucking, you know, big, larger than life person, but I'm just a regular fucking person, man. Really, like, I don't have illusions of grandeur. Maybe I might think so because, I'm real confident, but nah, fuck no, man. Like, I'll be the first one to tell you I'm an average fucking person, and, you know, I'll tell you my faults, and I'll fucking tell you, you know, like, fuck no. It might seem like that, and a lot of people get that from me, and a lot of people, they end up hating me because, realistically, you see a motherfucker like me, who thinks like me, has a powerful mind, and physically is powerful and intimidating. It's like, you hate a motherfucker like that because, you know, when I was working my other jobs, I'd have some fool be all like pissed off, right? Like, hey dog, don't you wish you could fucking punch me, dog, and nothing happened to you? But I'll fuck you up, dog, you know? And I know most people have that mentality, like, fuck, I hate this fool, but what the fuck can I do? You know, he'll fuck me up. And that makes them hate you even more. Because you're unstoppable to them. What the fuck? You can't fucking stop a juggernaut. And that's the way people see me. And that's just from me being on this fucking earth for 40 years, coming on 41 in April. And that's just what it is, man. And it's just me doing a fucking solo and just fucking speaking my fucking what's on my mind and shit, you know, like I usually do. But this is more of a fucking like not even a deep topic, but just shit that's been bugging me for some time. And now I'm gonna feel a lot better now that it's fucking out there, you know. People might get sad, people might get mad, but fuck it. It is what it is, man. It's I've always been like this anyways, man. And then now that I'm older, it's more like, fuck it, you know. You gotta let motherfuckers know how you feel. Let motherfuckers know what's on your mind. Cause that's what real men fucking do, you know? Say, hey, this shit's not cool. And, cause it's hard to do that shit. Most people will hide behind their feelings and do other things and shit instead of just saying, hey dog, it is what it is. This is what's bugging me. And that's it, man. Because they think that's a weak thing, but fuck no, it's more weak because it's more weak holding that shit in because you're afraid of the reaction of the person and shit. You know, in my case, it's like, hey, fuck it, you know, some internet shit is not even fucking real. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck it. Like I said, motherfuckers in a way somewhere else. Just you do you, I do me, and that's it. You know, sadly, what it should be is what I really thought it was, you know, coming into this as a fucking rookie is like that there is unity and there is some sort of a circle and motherfuckers help each other out and shit like that. But fuck no, it's far from it. There's it's pretty much just you know, that one podcast which is Pura Cultura and everyone just dick riding like a motherfucker. Like it is what it is. I'm gonna keep it real. Like just dick riding like a motherfucker. You rarely will see those guys like you know, return the favor and fucking and shout these fools out, you know. And obviously after hearing this, they're gonna do it a lot more, but you see a lot of that shit, man. It's like, you know, it's like, dog, like you guys are worshiping some fools that are like in a totally different state that don't even fucking relate to you. It's a totally different culture, man. Like, you know, here to there is totally different, man. The border's 2 hours away, man. You know, our motherland is 2 hours away, so it's like totally different, man, for someone who's way on the other side of the fucking United States, man. But yeah, people, I guess, you know, they see the numbers and they're like, oh shit, they're big, so let's worship them and shit like that, instead of, you know, being cool with the motherfuckers that you got here locally and networking and fucking supporting each other and growing. They focus on someone that they're probably never going to meet in their life, you know, and it's just crazy, man. But fuck it, it is what it is, you know. That's just how, you know, our culture is, really, man. There's a lot of fucking hating and shit, a lot of fucking hating, man. And I saw it, you know, in this whole podcast fucking circle or culture, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It exists. Are people going to talk about it? No, but I am today. And just to give you guys an insight of what the fuck is, yeah, of course, not all podcasts are going to be like this, or podcast communities. Like, I see a lot of them that are like multicultural online and shit, you know, and they support each other and shit. But that's just what it is, man. Like, fucking people, you know, instead of you know, being happy with what they have, they look to other places and shit, sadly. So if you're a podcaster and you're listening to this and you fall into that category, feel free to unfollow me, but also remove me from your follower, because you can do that too. It'll say, hey, you want to remove me? Yeah, remove me. You know, it's better that way. It's better that way. Like, what I do too is like, I usually, you know, I'll follow motherfuckers back, even if it's just regular people, you know, like what the fuck, who the fuck am I to not follow them back? They're following me, so I usually follow, you know. That's why my ratio, if you look at it, I'm like fucking, right now I'm kind of following more, like 100 more than are following me. But every once in a while I'll go through my list and I'll be like, oh, who's following me? They're not following me. Boom, unfollow. You know, what the fuck is the point of me following them? They're not following me back. It comes down to the one hand washes the other. But you know, I just wanted to go on here and just speak my mind about that, man, because it's been, like I said, I've been thinking about it for a couple of months already. And what I was gonna do is just unfollow all these fools and shit. And but then it's like, fuck, they're cool as fuck. What, you know, I don't want to break ties. They're actually cool, you know. They're just I don't know. They just what they're doing. I don't know if they know they're doing it, if they know that they're doing it or what, or they don't know. But fuck it, it's better. It's better just to cut ties with it, because if you don't know that you're doing something, you're never gonna fucking change it. You know what I mean? So it's better just to cut ties. Like I was, fuck it. You know, hey, I don't see them. Like these fools that unfollow me. Fuck it, I'm not gonna see them. Their shit. They're not gonna see my shit. Fuck it. But these fools, I could tell, man, because what these fools do is they do like a not a shadow ban, but they just kind of like, they just stop looking at your shit. Like they mute your shit. You know. They'll fucking mute your comments and shit like that. You know, might as well unfollow a motherfucker if you're gonna do that. You know what I mean? It's fucking pointless. You know, if you're supporting them, they don't support you back. But you know, in the end, all it comes down to is like, you know, support motherfuckers that support you and just keep it real. You know, that's just what it comes down to in the end, man. It's just about being a man. Not even about being a man, because if you're a woman, you could still live by that, you know, like, hey, you know, support who, like I said in the beginning of the fucking year, I said, look, it's a new fucking year, man. I'm only going to support motherfuckers that support me. And, you know, fuck it, I'm going to take a stand right now. And that's what it comes down to. In the end, man, realistically, man, these fools ain't doing nothing for me. They ain't promoting me. You know what I mean? How the fuck are they going to help me get listeners when motherfuckers are afraid of you becoming bigger than them? But in my case, fuck no. Like I said, like, there's people with less followers that ask me to be on their show. I'll be on their show. It's not a big deal, because it's not even about that shit. It's about helping each other, you know? And like I said, the followers don't mean shit, man. You know, they don't mean shit. They don't equate to anything. The likes don't equate to anything. Because the main thing in this whole podcast thing is listeners. So just because you have all these fucking followers doesn't mean you're gonna have listeners, because trust me, it doesn't mean that. there's a couple solid motherfuckers though that are always on your story and liking your shit. That's what it's about. If not, what the fuck is the point of following somebody if it's just for numbers? You know, it doesn't make any fucking sense. But anyway, man, changing gears. Fucking the first weekend of April, I'm gonna be headed down to San Diego. I'm gonna go be a guest on the Emo Brown show. Shout out fucking El Sham. Shout out Glasses. The fucking beer dude. Shout out, guys. Hopefully I'll be seeing these other homies too. But I'm gonna go do an episode with El Shams, and then right after I'm gonna do my episode. He's gonna be on my podcast. I'm gonna take my gear over there and do that. And crazy thing about that is these guys, the way I found the Emo Brown podcast is I listen to a lot of podcasts, and even the fools that I mentioned earlier, the ones that I would listen to. I would listen to No Father No Problem, Latino Happy Hour. What else? I listen to Churros con Puros. But you know, once I be done with those podcasts, like fuck, and you know, I listen to others, like fuck, what the fuck else can I listen to? You know, so I even did like a poll on my Instagram page. Like, hey, are there any podcasts? And you know, they told me the same old shit that I listened to already. You know, it's like fuck, I know about these fucking podcasts already. I want some fucking new ones that people don't listen to. So I kept searching, you know, when I'm interested in Mexicans and Chicanos. So I looked up Mexican, and Emo Brown, the saddest Mexican, you know, that's fucking cool. So I'm like, fuck yeah, this is going to be good, man. Cause I noticed they had a skull, and it was like rockabilly traditional tattoo skull. I was like, fuck yeah, it's right up my alley. And I started listening. Fuck yeah, it's a good ass fucking podcast. I'm almost done with all the episodes. I just started listening to all of them. It's really cool, man, because it's like they're just like keeping it real and just fucking speaking, you know, like fucking what I fucking do, just keeping it real and speaking. And there's a lot of cool guests on there too. But the guest that you always hear on there is Glasses. Shout out Glasses, and Caesar, the beer dude. And those guys, they're back because they're good, man. They're really fucking good. Like, they're always like, and it's not like they're talking about, it's not like they're just sitting there and saying, hey, how was your week? What did you do? Like, no, they're talking about actual like topics and shit, you know, and like news and, you know, just actual knowledge and shit. It's not, they're not recapping what they did during the week and shit. So it's really, really fucking interesting. And interestingly enough, I've never met them in person, man, but they're really cool as fuck, you know, like really, really cool, man. Really, really supportive, really cool. And they interact and shit, really cool. The thing about that is like these guys, their podcast is cool too, because they have a foundation where they put money together, and they build they collect money to make for scholarships for kids and shit. So that's really fucking cool, man. Especially when you have a good podcast and they're doing that, it's like fuck yeah, you know. It even makes it even better. So shout out to the whole Emo Brown crew. I'll be seeing you guys. It's also Shams. He owns the fucking brewery, 3 Punk Ales. So fuck yeah, I'm gonna get fucked up over there with some beers. They were posting some fucking micheladas this weekend. They look pretty fucking good. So fuck yeah, I can't wait to head out there. And I'm gonna drive out there in the morning, record, kick it out there, and then come back. Probably have my wife drive. I'm probably gonna be fucked up. She doesn't like driving my fucking car, but whatever. She says the car is too fucking big. It's a fucking XB. It's a small fucking car, but she's little, so that's why. And also, you guys hear that intro music? That was me. I fucking played the bass, the guitar, and I just programmed the drums and shit. Because I'm trying to find a fucking intro. So when you hear the intro, you know, oh shit, that's the Rantu and Ramos podcast, you know? So, because usually what I've been doing is I just fucking put a bunch of music that's mine. It's my music for the intros and shit, but it's got to be a specific fucking, you know, song where you're like, oh shit, that's it. This one for now, I just put that shit, but I want to make a better one. I did that shit like in fucking 10 minutes, so I'm gonna make something a lot better. Probably have my son play guitar. He's a lot better than me. That's just like whatever, what I'm fucking playing on there. Just distortion hides everything. It masks all the imperfections of your playing and shit. But yeah, I hooked up my one of my stand-up basses, and that's what it sounds like that, like clicky and shit. That's what you want it to sound like, because you're slapping the bass. That shit was pretty fun. I want to get back into playing music again. Just gotta check with my son, see if he's down and shit. There's a fucking studio that we rent, and we play. My son plays guitar and stand-up bass, and so does my brother, guitar and stand-up bass, and I try to play the drums and sing, which is really fucking hard. We used to play maybe like about 5 years ago. We'd play. We were playing like fuck every 2 weeks. We go rehearse, and we actually got pretty good, where we had a set list, and we had I printed out set lists and shit. You know, we had songs, and we had about 8 songs that we memorized and shit. But yeah, man, singing and playing the drums is fucking hard, man, because you're doing like fucking 3 things at once. But I tried fucking playing and playing guitar and singing, and that seems kind of harder for me, even though the changes that you're doing are, you know, with your wrist and with your fingers when you're changing chords. But with the drums, you're like fucking, you're using the kick drum, you're hitting the fucking the cymbal and the snare. So and you're singing. That's 4 fucking things. But for some reason, that's a lot easier than me singing and playing guitar. But I think the trick to singing and playing guitar is knowing the song so good that you don't even think about it. You just fucking playing, and then it just comes naturally. You know, the only song I can sing and play is "Should I Stay or Should I Go," because it's like you do a fucking chord, da na na da na 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 na, and then you fucking do a verse, right? And then you do a chord. So it's like you stop in between. It's not like it's fucking. There's a couple of parts where you are strumming and singing, but that song's really fucking easy because it doesn't require you to do both things at once or whatever, or 3 or 4 things at once with the strumming, because even your wrist, you're doing something rhythmical with your wrist, the way you strum, because there's people that can do chords and shit, but their strumming is terrible, and that's characteristics of like bad guitar playing, because it doesn't sound right. The strumming has a lot to do with it too, as well as getting the right chords. So yeah, I want to get back into that shit because it's really, really fun. But fuck, it's like I'm doing too many fucking things. Like right now, like my electronic music is in the back burner. Every once in a while, I'll make something real quick to put it in the podcast, but that's in the back burner. I think right now what takes a lot of my time is a podcast. It's fucking takes a lot of fucking time. Even though the recording, yeah, you do it like in an hour or 2 you record, but then, you know, you edit a couple things here and there and shit, you know. A couple sounds every once in a while. This one I don't think is gonna have any fucking sound. Special shout out El Shams from the Emo Brown podcast, Lopez Avila, and Eddie Munoz. You know, thanks. You guys are the Patreons. Right now people don't really know about it and shit, but thank you very much for jumping on and supporting. You know, it's really going to help out with the show, and just with bringing more stuff to the show. You know, like, you know, might be investing in a camera, just different things, man. But the more the Patreon grows, the better it'll be, you know, because I can bring more shit into the podcast with YouTube, with a bunch of different things, you know. And like I said, I'm gonna drop another Patreon episode towards the end of the month. I'm gonna try to do like 2 Patreon episodes a month, and also add music and shit. And you know, like there's like 2 t-shirt designs that I put on there on the Patreon that you could vote on to see which t-shirt design you like, because I need to really get this printed out before I head over there to San Diego. So by this weekend, I better have the design ready and then print them out that other weekend that's coming, because I'm gonna print them out myself. But I'll probably just do a couple, like maybe like fucking 24 fucking shirts just for now. And I got a couple. I already have the merchandise. I just have to print it. Like I got a lot of sweaters and shit, and crew necks and hoodies and t-shirts in various sizes and shit. Only thing I don't print is I don't really print medium, because my logos that I do, my screens, I do a big ass fucking, usually like 14 by 16. Because I'm a big dude, because usually when I buy t-shirts and they got a small print, it doesn't look right. Even though I only wear extra large, but I like having the big ass print, because sometimes people go cheap and it's just one size, and you'll see a motherfucker that's like a 4X and the print will be all fucking small in the middle. It doesn't make sense. That's why I like using big prints. So even if you're a little person, it looks cool because it's a big ass print. And if you're a big ass person, it just looks normal. So that's what I like doing. So thanks everyone for listening. I just had to fucking say what I had to say. That's pretty much it. I'll try not to say, well, no, this wasn't personal, but this is just like, I don't like to talk shit and do beef and shit like that, which is not what I'm trying to do. Like I said, best of luck to all these fools that I'm gonna unfollow. It's just better for me, man. No hard feelings. Do you? Much fucking success to you guys. Fuck it, whatever the fuck you're gonna do, and that's pretty much it. And if you're just listening to it for the first time, my podcast isn't just about this shit. This is just some shit that I had to fucking let out. But if you liked it, you can follow me on the Rancho Ramos podcast on Instagram. You could listen on Spotify, fucking iTunes. All you got to do pretty much, if you don't know where to listen to the podcast, is just go on fucking Google and just Google Rancho Ramos podcast, and it'll give you a bunch of different options that you can listen wherever you want to. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to be what I'm doing is I'm converting these podcasts into videos, so it'll just have like the cover, but you can actually listen to it on YouTube. So you can listen to it on YouTube. I'm gonna get more stickers and shit, and buttons and shit. The design, I do all the designing myself and shit. I'm the one who comes up with the t-shirts, so sometimes I don't have time, but I've been working on one. I'm gonna do it just with the fucking logo, the big ass fucking logo, with the horror punk letters and the cholo letters in the bottom. I'm coming up with something like that. So it's just a black t-shirt with the big ass logo in the middle. So look out for that. That's going to be coming soon. And also, if you could please, on the Apple podcast, if you can rate and review, that'll really help me, so more people can see the podcast and find it. It'll help me climb the rankings, so more people can see it. Right now, thankfully, it's at 5 stars. So thank you for everyone who's fucking, actually went in there and commented and left a review, because that really helps out, especially so people can get an idea. There's people that like to just go in there and, like, that's what I do. I go in there and I fucking read the reviews, and I say, oh shit, let's see what people are saying about this fucking podcast, and that way you fucking save your, you don't waste your fucking time looking and seeing, oh shit, I wonder if it's good. Let me see what these motherfuckers are saying about it. And like I said, it really fucking helps out. Thank you for the people who have been leaving reviews. Actually, I'm going to read a couple. This one was from Uli Ramos, and he says, the Rancho Ramos podcast is now one of my favorite shows that I added to my list of podcasts I enjoy listening to. He speaks the truth and is not afraid to stand up and speak his mind, even when it may be unpopular and not what others think should be said. I can see why he's got a big following, and all within 6 months. I share the same ideas, views, and viewpoints as him, and it's refreshing to find others like-minded people out there who are in the right mind. Keep doing what you're doing, hermano. So thank you for Uli Ramos for that. The next one I got here is from the Bruin Eagle Twin. This is one of the most engaging, eye-opening, and interesting podcasts I have listened to. Ramos does not sugarcoat anything and passionately shares his life experiences and the influence that growing up in the streets had on him. True storyteller, and the world needs to listen. So thank you very much for that. This other one is from El Big Mac. Shout out El Big Mac. Rancho Ramos is as real as it gets. Real recognizes real, and if And if you're real, this podcast is for you. Rough, rugged, and raw. This is Jose's true story about being Mexican and growing up in San Gabriel during the 80s and 90s. At times, heartbreakingly sad and brutal. Ranting with Ramos is ultimately an uplifting true story filled with hope, insight, and hard-earned lessons for the next generation. Jose's narrative vividly depicts his fondest memories and the struggles he faced growing up, from how he acquired a nickname to the abuse he endured and the friendships he developed over the years. Jose keeps it 100% real. There are so many memories and so many stories to tell that need to be heard. Jose introduces sound effects at the right moments to take the podcast even more lively, and also blends his own music into the mix, which invigoratingly provides a surreal atmosphere of pure listening pleasure for your ears and mind. It is like you are there at the scene. When he's telling the story, you feel the energy, raw emotion, and endorphins shoot through your veins as he eloquently chronicles his life. This podcast will keep you at the edge of your seat, always wanting more. Jose is a true artist. He writes and produces his own podcast. He even makes his own music and sound effects for his own podcast. This isn't some commercial stuff where he'll play other people's music, read someone else's script, or talk about irrelevant topics that will never affect you. Forget all that. This is the complete opposite. This is real, homegrown, started at the bottom. Si se puede, ánimo, orgullo, raza stuff. If you're real, this is for you. If you're not still listening, you might learn something. As Jose says, God didn't give me good looks, but he gave me a whole lot of other things. Querer es poder. Enjoy listening. So thank you very much, Big Mac, for that fucking badass fucking novel, man. Appreciate that. And this is from that 8-Town Cowboy. Shout out to 8-Town Cowboy. First heard of Jose on the Mega Man podcast and immediately looked up the Ranting with Ramos podcast. Right off the bat, I liked what he was speaking on, speaking his mind and viewpoints, many of which I agree with. A great podcast to listen to of a real person with real perspective and life experiences. Thank you for that. And then this is Rico's Reviews. Hands down, one of the best podcasts I've listened to. Keep pumping these out. Another one is Guiche 174714. Ramos is a great storyteller and has great topics. Short and sweet right there. This is from King G323. Shout out King G. Found my new favorite podcast. Keeps it 100% real. Great topics and just keeps you intrigued all the way from the storytelling to giving you his point of view on current world events. Salute to a great show. Thank you. And we got Edgar Dam. Dope podcast. Humble and relatable. You can hear his craftsmanship and time it took to produce this podcast. Great job, bro. Thank you. And we got Steven76. This is a very underrated podcast. Keep up the good work, Jose Ramos. Sincerely, Steven Martinez, a.k.a. Mega Man from the Mega Man podcast. Shout out Mega Man. And we got Lopez Avila. Shout out Lopez Avila. What's up, man? Love hearing Jose's stories. His stories are really relatable. Also love how he was helping out the street vendors. Pay attention to the sound effects and music to his stories too. It brings it to life. Fuck yeah. And we got Tomate Esta. Shout out Tomate Esta. This podcast is great. A lot of things can relate and it's funny as well. Great job helping the vendors. Always got to keep supporting the raza. That's right, man. And we got the last one here from Lopez 49er Face, which is from Chicano-ish. This is fucking David Senior Lopez from Chicano-ish. We're close in age, share similar beliefs, and face some of the same challenges of being Chicano growing up in the hood. I respect what you're doing for the eloteros on your own time and think your podcast is entertaining. Continue to support Raza by listening to my podcast in return. Let's help each other out. Yeah, man. All right, man. Thanks a lot, man. Stay up and stay down, homie. So that's pretty much it, man. Thanks for listening, guys. I'll be coming up with one pretty soon. I'm gonna try to get some more guests on there so that you guys can get other people's perspectives. And thanks for the feedback. Some people I talk to and they're like, oh no, well, we don't like this person or we don't like this topic, and I could tell by the fucking numbers too. Like there's like a big difference in numbers based on the guests, and I get an idea on that. Not everyone's gonna fucking like the people, but they seem to like D's, homegirl Deanna, shout out D's. They like when I have my wife on there, my brother, so I'll do more with them, and let's see. I just had one with my kids the last week, so let's see how that goes. So thanks for listening, everyone. Peace.